And you have great follow-up to the engage here for the Ziggs. This Lilia has been a bit of a terror in solo queue. We have not seen it yet.
It does have that little fairy thing, whatever that's called, the magic in the bottle. Life on the Pantheon is just going to get engaged on, as who's ganking who is really the question. The Q3 does come through, but that's Life to go down first, and he even gives the kill over to...
Space this out. Raptor wants to hit level 6 here as soon as possible. Pyosik's trying to deny him this Raptor camp, ironically.
Not going to be successful, but might look for the kill here as it is blocked, but the double Yone over the wall, and that's going to get the kill on the Raptor. VicLa also quite low himself, but still a very nice setup here.
When I look at this game, the state we're in, how different this draft is going to be played out for BNK as. I think they're going to have to show some depth here. Diable has cleanse.
Now he doesn't. And also got ignited, took a bit of damage. They're going to engage here onto Pyosik, it looks like. Takes a huge amount of damage, and a massive Yone into 3 of them. Clozer nearly dies, and there's 0 follow-up, but it was really cool. And Life goes in, his ult hits nobody, and deokdam is super low, and he's just going to get crit in the face instead. As Clozer, I think he was out, but now he's not. He's dead. It's a double kill to Diable. And we're off the rails again.
I was so happy when we were... And then we're just reminded that deokdam did say that he could play with either support. They have a lot of synergy. As he is left alone.
Yeah. I think maybe he doesn't get out, actually. I thought his...
I don't think so.
Yeah, I thought it would full channel, but no. Clear. Perhaps in a bit of trouble as the Ziggs is finished, and the Rek'Sai ultimate also comes out, and Pyosik's tanky enough, so nice good setup by DuDu to get him low enough.
All right, clean dive. Game's still incredibly close.
Oof. Yeah, that's the power of the Jace. I mean, it doesn't have to be jungle, as Clozer's like, hey, maybe I can farm the mid lane. No, you can't. And maybe I can do... Okay, well, he got the one.
Inches. Pyosik is going to be able to get the grubs on the top side, while we do see some attempted steal away on the bottom side. Clozer is now able to kind of farm for a minute. It's a 400 gold lead with all those assists picked up, plates. Grubs, not Dreezer, just kind of up here, playing top lane.
First turret, 13 minutes in. DuDu, you know, generally, okay, we're going to have to wait for that as ults are being thrown in every which direction. All 3 of them into VicLa, and the kill is also given over to Clozer. That's going to be a big boost of gold into this DNS team. Let's not have that be a name.
No, I mean, we already had Slurkle. It's fallen off.
Pantheon, actually, it looks like Life is going to hold on to that for now. And that's totally fine. Flash available here for Clear, but the stun comes down, and it's pretty easy doings from there. Although, the counter-strike comes in, and he just dies to Ignite. And yeah, Clear still not existing. He didn't realize it, does not care, and will not care.
Satchel range.
Yeah.
So double turret.
DuDu is just, he looks like Clear on Renekton in game 1. You remember who was just in the side lane playing, being able to pilot. But yeah, I do agree that the Lilia is kind of out of his range, and maybe was trying to reach for something that had AP damage from the jungle, but they didn't
to a lot of the melees we've had a staple for the last 5 years here in the LCK, so that's probably part of why you know, those stats are so low in terms of the games.
This is like a pull bay flank. Like, we are just
Kellin
ages behind, and they seem to have an idea, but maybe perhaps not, as Clozer taking a huge amount of damage. Clear trying to be relevant in this game, but eventually just dies. Did buy some time for the team, I guess, but the team is not faring any better either, as in goes DuDu, Raptor in a ton of trouble, and DuDu actually is unkillable. Light's trying to beat them into more, as somehow, yeah, Kellin eventually did go back and die in that fight. So DNS, a pretty solid lead at this point.
The Jhin is working decently well, but there just isn't anything to set the Jhin up when these frontliners are so low. The Jax is really does matter, especially Pyosik and DuDu.
All right, and now they're going to get a pick on a deokdam, one of the guys who actually is decently farming this one, and he's just dead. So there's that pick potential.
Not quite. He's getting away with it, but they're going to take the Baron, and now Raptor with no flash. Difficult for him to get in here and impact this. DuDu also going to hold this angle here. I think they can, if they play this slow, hold this Baron.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I just don't think there's a very good in for BNK, and they're trying to kill Rek'Sai. That's not going to happen. Maybe if they have a lot of time with him, which it looks like they will. There's the shutdown, though, and DNS pulled off the Baron. It was on like 6K. I thought they could have just taken the Baron, but instead, they tried to help out DuDu. DuDu dies.
And it's the old switcheroo.
Yeah.
Life is also going to die. And if it wasn't a Jhin composition, they would probably consider doing the Baron themselves right now.
Of damage, and they're going to slowly add people, but there's just no vision, and BNK are just taking this objective. We got TP in the mid. That's way too late. And that is Baron straight up for BNK. First Hextech Drake to DNS, they'll take it, but I think BNK
on this Lilia, and Clear does a ton as well, and he can just tank. They can basically two-man that without any issue. And as soon as DNS just don't respond, they rotate everyone else over, take it for free. Now this Jax isn't a side lane 1v1 but this is not going to be that kind of fight. Pyosik is looking for an angle here, potentially over the wall.
Yeah, they're trying to set this one up on a clear, but they do it in a counter-strike, and VicLa is here as well. The ult hits the chase, and all of a sudden, VicLa's in a lot of trouble. Life gets over first, as is expected from this Pantheon, and it's a double kill, actually, for the support Pantheon. Meanwhile, Diable's like, I don't care what my team's gonna do. I'm 5-0. I'm taking this mid lane turret with a Baron, okay? We have Baron. We're gonna do something with it. And he's actually doing a nice job to DuDu as well.
It's like the arc in the anime we were talking about before where he remembers his master once said, the most important thing is to kill the Nexus. He's like, oh, I can shoot the turrets. While they're fighting bottom side, I'll take my chance.
Yeah. It is pretty important in League of Legends to kill the turret, or the Nexus rather.
He does end up getting that turret and gets a lot more money. He's right here, like this exact game state. Because right now,
my money's on BNK for sure. Right as I say that, the Year of VicLa, again, canceled for now, but he is going to be able to flash away. Year DuDu is on his way up, but the collapse is coming in from BNK. Clozer by himself, nothing is hitting, finally. He's going to go for the QSS, but you would imagine eventually he just goes down. But same fate will go over to VicLa, who dies on the left. Down goes Clozer, basically at the same time, and now we're engaging onto the Pantheon, who does throw the shield up, but the Jhin, again, is so doing so much damage, needs to actually hit some shots, waits for the stun, nicely done, and now they're on the chase, and this is where Lilia is so strong, but
I thought that was going to be it, Valdez. I thought that was the fight. Right, like 2 minutes before the Dragon. Isn't set up for success. Like, he's 6-0 and 5K gold ahead, but he doesn't have the greatest front line to set up for him, so does it really matter?
I think he sets himself up if he's that fed. Maybe, unless he just dies.
Or just tries to solo kill the Rek'Sai, and it takes half the health bar away, but okay, now what? Now what? This game is very fun.
Just auto them, I guess. And yeah, at least both of our teams have kind of come to their senses and realized, hey, you know, it is still Hextech Soul. Oh, that's a big hit from VicLa. And we haven't had a lot of fights where we're actually setting up, you know, and poking each other, and it makes sense. But it's beginning to make sense a little bit here, as the combo's going to miss here on a Clozer. Pyosik getting super low, and Clear's just getting in there, zoning them all away. The Drake does go the way of Pyosik, but deokdam already down. Raptor gets the Zhonya's out, and that's the sleep on a Clozer right as it goes in. Does land the knockup, as it's only DuDu though at the end of the day, and he is cleaned up. 9,000 damage from Diable as he goes down, and BNK take a big fight.
The pings to mid. But some
win conditions at this point in time. And, okay, ult's going to come out here on a VicLa. There's the big bomb from deokdam.
You can feel that he is not the one that's 6,000 gold ahead with that ult coming through.
He doesn't really do a whole lot, and that's a lot of consistent damage kind of lost. If you're Ziggs, you know, still looking at that death cap, desperately wants to get it, but he's probably like 2K gold off, and that's way too far away at this point in the game, which BNK are really trying to pressure as much as possible. And VicLa's actually hitting stuff now, as is Diable. Jesus! His life has to put up the door. And now we're just throwing ults every which direction, just dumping them off of the wave.
He has no mana. He's like trying his hardest to clear these Baron waves. He's used his whole mana bar. He interrupts the ult, but has to now walk away and get his mana back before he can do anything else. And this is looking like it's likely to be 2 inhibitors to fall here. Great siege from BNK. And it could just lead to an end if they can find an angle here. deokdam has to do so much heavy lifting. He's so far behind.
Ooh. And that's the combo, the Jace and the Jhin. You don't get to exist anywhere near the wave. And yeah, they take down the 2 inhibitors. They're looking for a bit more. You can see that deokdam, really the onus is on him to do some damage. Diable just kind of tanking everything, flashes away, dives to the Pantheon, and that is a massive pick, and a ton of gold to go over to Light. Is it enough though, as we still have the Jace? DuDu though is going to get in that back line. As you see, they're trying to peel for him desperately. Kellin not quite able to land the stun, but at least they ward BNK off for now.
Yeah, deokdam's like, as soon as I get my buttons back, I will get him. They can't get away with it. But this seems like as Diable gets satcheled, then caught here by Pyosik, then Pantheon stunned, and then Clozer gets on top of him. Zig's bomb, unfortunately, a little bit wasted, but they really wanted to kill the 6,000 gold ahead gen, and they did, and that put all the wind out of the sails here for this composition.
Soul over, lest we get another big comeback.
The lead in the top lane, which was the only lead for DNS, no longer really a thing.
Diable, no flash. He's just being bullied once again, and yeah, he does get away, but now he's not really part of this fight all that much. He's trying to back up and land an ult, but they're just gaining distance now, as finally he's able to open up the curtains and does a minuscule amount of damage.
The question is that enough to grab this dragon? And I think it probably is. I mean, we're 35 minutes in. They have so much damage with this Lilia. There's just no way we're going to see a contest, and they still have to deal with the super minion. So even though he almost got picked, you could argue his ultimate just means there's no follow-up, and they end up getting this dragon. This Ziggs that's so far behind really struggles.
Eventually, somebody's going to have to face check. It will be DuDu.
That shock blast pretty revealing.
Yeah. As it is getting pretty low. Pyosik trying to get on into the pit, and there he goes. He's going to be stunned up. They want to turn onto the Sejuani as the smite goes to the Lilia and BNK. Pyosik super low, but he's the tank, soaking a lot of damage. Clear, trying to frontline here, and with the counter-strike, I think it's good enough, but VicLa in a really rough spot, already goes down. Zhonya's also already burned here. Raptor barely able to take out the Ziggs, as now the ult comes through. Kellin in trouble. Diable trying to kite this one out, and I think he just does too much damage, although his frontline is disappearing. He's able to disappear the enemy team.
That was insane from Diable. He's just like, nah, doesn't matter. That was very Indiana Jones-esque. Nice sword. Shoots him in the face. See you later, Yone. 8-2 on this 6,500 gold ahead. Jin in this one. And it was a nice desperate attempt from DNS. They were almost able to bring it to 5. There were certainly some moments in this game where it looked viable. That Jax looked like it wasn't going to do anything, but the Ziggs alone, not enough damage this far behind, and BNK will